Your hands are on the steering wheel, parked outside a place you promised you'd change. Same street, same people, same excuses waiting like an open door. And right before you step out, you hear it, your own mind whispering, "Don't make it weird. Don't outgrow them. Don't act brand new." That whisper has a name. It's smallness, and it has been negotiating your life for years. This isn't a video about haters, it's a video about standards. Because most men don't get destroyed by enemies, they get drained by access. Access to their time, access to their focus, access to their nervous system, access to the version of them that still needs approval. So today I'm going to show you how to become unreachable. Not unreachable to love, unreachable to chaos. Unreachable to guilt, unreachable to bait, unreachable to the old you that begged to be understood. And I'm not giving you poetry, I'm giving you a system you can execute this week. Look at me. If their opinion can change your mood, they're still driving your life. If you keep giving small people big access, you will keep living a small life. Let's name what's happening. When you start rebuilding your body, your money, your faith, your discipline, some people get uncomfortable. Not because you became arrogant, because your growth exposes what they postponed. Your consistency reminds them of promises they broke to themselves. Your courage reminds them of fears they've been feeding. Your standards remind them of the life they keep saying they'll start soon. And instead of repairing their own life, they try to reduce your rise. Not always with cruelty, sometimes with a smile. A joke at your expense, a concern that feels like control, advice you didn't ask for, a sudden opinion about your timing the moment you choose yourself. Here's rule number 1 of elevation. You do not wrestle with shadows, you become light. And becoming light isn't posting quotes, it's building a life so regulated, so structured, so aligned, that their gravity can't reach your soul. So write this down, 4 moves. If you execute these, you will stop bleeding energy into people who don't deserve it, and you will start building the kind of confidence that doesn't shake. Move number 1, cut emotional access. Most men think the problem is what people say. No, the problem is what people can touch. They don't need to break your body to break your week. They just need to hijack your nervous system. A comment, a look, a rumor, and suddenly your sleep is lighter, your workouts are sloppy, your patience at home is gone, your focus at work is fractured. That's why access is the currency. They're not after your pain, they're after your attention. Not your breakdown, your reaction. Not your failure, your emotional availability to their chaos. So here are 3 rules for emotional access. If someone consistently leaves you dysregulated, they don't get real-time access to you anymore. That means you don't answer immediately. You don't clear it up on demand. You don't jump when they whistle. You do not discuss your dreams with people who don't have discipline. Stop feeding your future to mouths that only know how to chew it up. You stop explaining your boundaries to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. If a boundary requires a 10-minute speech to be respected, it isn't a boundary, it's a negotiation. And let me be clear, this is not cruelty. Kindness is not compliance. Love is not endurance of disrespect. Compassion does not mean reopening doors that keep bleeding you. Move number 2, clean your inner language. You can cut people off and still be small inside, because smallness isn't money. Smallness isn't education. Smallness isn't where you started. Smallness is a mindset that survives by shrinking everything around it. It's fear disguised as truth, insecurity dressed up as opinion, control pretending to be care. And here's the uncomfortable part. You cannot rise above smallness out there if you still entertain it in here. If you speak to yourself like an enemy when you mess up, If you downplay your progress so you don't make people uncomfortable. If you hesitate to celebrate because attention feels dangerous. So for 7 days, do this. Every time you hear the sentence, "Who do you think you are?" you replace it with, "I'm the man who keeps his word." Not "I'm special," not "I'm talented." I keep my word. Because identity isn't what you feel. Identity is what you repeatedly do. And the fastest way to become unshakable is to become consistent with yourself. Move number 3. Install standards that run your day. If your days are loose, people can pull you anywhere. But if your day is structured, sabotage can't find a doorway. So I'm giving you the standard stack. 4 non-negotiables. Do this for 30 days. A. Morning lock-in. 10 minutes of silence before you touch your phone. No messages, no news, no other people's emotions. You breathe, you pray, you write 1 page. You decide who you are today before the world votes. B. Body discipline. 30 minutes of movement. Lift, walk, push-ups, anything. A regulated body creates a regulated mind. C. Focus block. 60 minutes of deep work with notifications off. You don't feel ready, you start, because focus is a skill, not a mood. D. Integrity rep. 1 uncomfortable action you've been avoiding. Budget check, doctor appointment, apology, resume, business outreach. 1. Every day. Do that for 30 days and watch what happens. Confidence won't come from affirmation. It will come from evidence. Evidence that you are becoming a man you can trust. Move number 4. Master silence without becoming cold. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a boundary when it's chosen from strength. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every misunderstanding deserves your explanation. Some things deserve your progress. Here's the silence protocol. When someone provokes you, you do not defend your pace. You do not defend your path. You do not defend your distance. You return to your schedule. And if you must speak, speak like a judge, not a defendant. Short, clear, no performance. I'm not available for that. I'm focused on my priorities. I wish you well. Now listen closely. Do not confuse boundaries with bitterness. Coldness is not healing. Isolation is not strength. Emotional superiority is still smallness. Your goal isn't to become unreachable to love. Your goal is to become unreachable to chaos. Who has to go without hating them? Some people only knew the version of you who was bleeding. They don't recognize the version of you that learned how to stop. And healed men don't need rescuers. They need witnesses. They need partners. They need peace. Not everyone who knows your story deserves the next chapter. Some people were only meant to witness your survival, not your success. And that's not betrayal, that's evolution. Here's your filter. If being around someone requires you to shrink, perform, or self-betray, they are a ceiling. And you cannot rise while carrying ceilings. But I want to protect your heart. Sometimes the people limiting you aren't enemies, they're mirrors. They show you where you still crave approval, where your confidence still wobbles, where you still outsource your worth. Don't curse the mirror, use it. Ask yourself, what did their comment touch in me? What fear did it activate? What part of me still needs strengthening? Then strengthen it through action, not argument. The 3 tests that prove you're changing. If you're doing this right, 3 things will start happening. Don't panic. Test 1. They'll call you different. Not because you became fake, because you stopped being available to dysfunction. Test 2. You'll feel guilt when you set a boundary. That guilt is not a warning sign. It's withdrawal. It's the old you trying to keep the old peace. Test 3. Your circle will get quieter before it gets better. Because when you stop entertaining chaos, the loud people leave first. And in that quiet, you'll be tempted to go back, just to feel familiar. So here's what you do in that quiet. Replace the environment. If you remove access but don't replace influence, you'll relapse. Get around men who respect standards. Consume voices that build your spine. Join a gym, a group, a church circle, a program, somewhere your discipline is normal. Because your future cannot be built in rooms that require you to stay the same. The threshold. Some of you are standing at a line right now. On one side, the familiar pain of being accepted but disrespected. On the other, the unfamiliar peace of being aligned but sometimes lonely. Choose the peace. Loneliness can be healed with connection, but self-betrayal rots quietly from the inside. You were not created to perform survival for people who refuse to grow. You were not created to dim your standards to protect fragile egos. You were not created to shrink your voice inside your own chest. You were created to rise. And rising doesn't require permission, it requires devotion. Devotion looks like showing up when nobody claps, training when nobody watches, budgeting when nobody praises you, telling the truth when it costs you comfort. Devotion is the quiet daily choice your future depends on. So when they talk, keep building. When they doubt, keep training. When they misjudge, keep refining. When they misunderstand, keep becoming. Let your life become the message. Let your peace become the protest. Let your progress become the reply. Because one day you will realize the truth that sets you free. You never needed to defeat them. You only needed to outgrow the version of you that believed their approval was required. If this hit you, don't just feel it, execute it. Within the next 24 hours, pick one move and do it. And comment your day one below: access, language, standards, or silence. Then subscribe, because we're not building motivation here. We're building men you can't break.